About a week ago, I reviewed the MX-1 head-to-head. That was a shoe inspired by some of the best Concept Japan shoes from the 2021 Concept Japan tournament. Now, I went into the backstory and inspiration for that shoe in my review. However, for this video, I'm going to do a quick summary. Concept Japan, also known as Co.jp, which was actually Nike's URL in Japan, was a line of shoes exclusive for Japanese retailers. Around the mid-2000s, early 2000s, Nike realized that those shoes became so popular, they had to extend it to a global audience, so it was no longer exclusive to Japan. And in 2021, Nike held a tournament, a bracket-style tournament, to pit 16 Concept Japan shoes up against each other. And this MX-1 was based on the top 8 Concept Japan shoes from that tournament. Now, if you were wondering, the Untiffany Dunks from 2006, that was the winner of that tournament. I go into a lot more detail in my review of this shoe, so if you're interested, definitely check it out. And on the same day this shoe released, this was available on Nike.com and Sneakers. Another shoe, which wasn't available on Nike.com nor Sneakers, was also released, and it was also inspired by Concept Japan shoes. Nike Dunk Low head-to-head Concept Japan Snakeskin. Now, I don't have a review dedicated to this shoe. Don't know if I will. There's just so many shoes to review. There's too many coming out, so maybe I'll get around to it, maybe not. Now, Nike refers to these shoes as head-to-head, obviously because of the tournament back in 2021 where shoes went head-to-head. So I decided, instead of doing just a review on this shoe, why not pit these two shoes against each other in a toe-to-toe? They're inspired by the same category and group of sneakers. They're released on the same day, and I feel like it just makes sense. Now, usually for every shoe that I review, I give it a sole score based on 5 metrics: colorway, materials, comfort, versatility, and storytelling. For toe-to-toe videos, I'm gonna remove storytelling because I don't really think it's fair, because some shoes don't really need or have a story to tell. It's just a general release, so I want to keep it as equal as possible. So I'm gonna replace storytelling with intangibles. And intangibles is essentially a gut instinct. When you first see a sneaker, how much do you love it? There's nothing you can put into words on why you like a lot of sneakers. For example, like the UNC Blue. Just love the colorway, don't know why, I just do. Now in the future, I might add another metric, or maybe replace intangibles with another metric. I don't know, but as of right now, colorway, materials, comfort, versatility, and intangibles. 5 metrics, each being on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. In the end, I total up the score for each shoe. Whichever one has the highest wins. Super simple, here we go. First up, it is colorway on the MX-1, obviously a Michigan colorway. We've seen this on the Nike Dunk Low Reverse Michigan, and generally I really like the Michigan colorway. There's something about the navy and the yellow combination just really appeals to me. It's probably my 3rd favorite collegiate colorway after the UNC Blue as well as Georgetown. I don't know how to describe it, I don't know why. Something about this color just really gets me. However, on the other hand, you see on this Nike Dunk Low, the brown overlays as well as that snakeskin base leather layer. That just looks so nice. And my favorite thing about this Nike Dunk Low are the red accents. So you see the Nike tag on the tongue of the shoe, as well as the Nike on the booty of the shoe. Both come in red. It just really makes the shoe pop. Just goes so well together. And even though it's not gum bottoms, I do love gum bottoms as an old man. This brown outsole, it just looks so sick. I do think generally if you sample like 1,000 people on the street, most people would choose this colorway on the Nike Dunk Low over this colorway. However, personally, this Michigan colorway, I just really love it. They're both as good as each other, so for colorway, I'm gonna give both these shoes a 5 out of 5. Next up is materials, and you see there's some commonalities between the material used on both these shoes. However, there are some slight differences. Now, both shoes incorporate the use of snakeskin as well as crocodile leather. Now, the snakeskin is inspired by the Air Force One snakeskin Coca that was released in 2005, and the crocodile texture that was inspired by the Untiffany Dunks, the winner of the Concept Japan tournament, released in 2006. Obviously, faux crocodile leather, otherwise these shoes would be unaffordable. However, they just use them in different amounts. So on the MX-1, you see the crocodile leather on the mudguard of the shoe, as well as the heel counter, and the snakeskin on the swoosh. On the Nike Dunk Low, however, the snakeskin is used very generously on the base leather layer, and the swoosh itself is crocodile leather. So it's kind of switched around, and the amounts they use for each material is slightly different. Now, in terms of the crocodile leather, I think they're very similar. They both feel pretty nice. It's just faux crocodile leather, nothing too special, but the heavy use of snakeskin on this Nike Dunk Low Oof, it is so sick. I love it. I didn't think I would like this shoe as much in person, because usually I don't love snakeskin. I know it is like a premium luxury vibe. I just don't love it as much as like just plain leather. But the way they've used this, the pattern and color that is used on the snakeskin, it's just so nice. It just makes the shoe look like a cool reptile. Don't know how to explain it. Again, obviously it's faux snakeskin, otherwise the shoe would be thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. But on this Nike Dunk, in this aesthetic, it's beautiful. And now one thing that differentiates this Nike Dunk Low from the MX-1 is the use of this distressed vintage suede that you see on the brown overlays. And even though the suede, it's probably not the best suede, it is a Nike Dunk Low, so you can't expect premium suede. However, the way it looks, the vintage aesthetic, it just really adds to the overall look of the shoe. And it feels super smooth too. It's not like that hairy suede where I think it would really not fit on the shoe if they incorporated like long hair suede. So this smooth suede that you see on the overlays, I really like that addition. That's something you don't see on the MX-1. Now the leather on the base layer on the MX-1, so you see in the navy blue color, it is pretty nice leather when you press down on the toe box. It doesn't feel synthetic or plastic. However, I just think the snakeskin done on the Nike Dunk Low is better. And I just love that vintage aesthetic of the suede overlays. So for materials, I'm going to give the Air Max 1 a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5 for the Nike Dunk Low. Next up is comfort, and this is probably the easiest category to decide. The Nike Dunk Low, it uses primitive technology in terms of comfort. There's no Nike Air on the heel, on the forefoot, anywhere. You're really just relying on the insole of the shoe. Very flat, it's very stiff. Nike Dunks, just one of the more uncomfortable shoes. It uses a rubber midsole and outsole, so it's not even the lightest shoe. The MX-1, however, it's definitely levels above. So it uses a polyurethane midsole, as well as obviously the visible Nike Air unit on the heel. And the padding inside overall, the softness of the shoe, it just feels much better. It's comfortable, I don't mind wearing MX-1s all day, and a Nike Dunk Low, it'll start to hurt my feet. Now on the inside of the shoe, on the ankle collar, the material used for both shoes are actually the same. So it feels like synthetic leather, so imagine like a couch, not a premium couch where you get genuine leather, but like a mid to low tier couch. It feels like that material, so it's identical there. And the insoles are actually the same on both shoes with the same Concept Japan logo inside, just different colors. And the tongue, both as thin or as thick as each other, there's not much difference there. So the real deciding and differentiating factor, it really comes down to the cushioning and the midsole, as well as the Nike Air unit. The lack of Nike Air unit as well as the rubber midsole, it just really puts this shoe at a disadvantage. So for the comfort, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 for the Air Max 1 and a 2 out of 5 for the Nike Dunk Low. Now the next metric is versatility. This is pretty easy in my opinion as well. The Nike MX-1 is a very versatile shoe, just in terms of the silhouette. However, this colorway, this Michigan colorway, removing my personal bias aside, is definitely a bit harder to wear. It's pretty loud, the yellow is pretty bright. Compare that with this brilliant masterpiece. You can't get more versatile than this. The Nike Dunk Low, again, it's an icon, it's a legend, it's still worn so often today. Despite the discomfort, it's because it just goes so well with so many outfits. And the colors on this shoe, a very earth tone color with the brown overlays. Maybe the snakeskin base layer is a little loud for some people, but the way they made it, the way that it comes through on this shoe, it's pretty muted, it's subtle, it just kind of blends in. It just fits really well. Before I even knew the story behind the shoe and it was just images, I just knew it was a Nike Dunk Low. I was like, this shoe, I could wear so many things with this shoe. So easy to wear, one of the more easier to wear dunks that I have in my rotation. So for versatility, I'm going to give this shoe, the MX-1, a 3 out of 5, the Nike Dunk Low, a perfect 5 out of 5. The last metric is intangibles. What it measures is essentially on first instinct and a gut instinct. When you first look at these shoes, which one would you prefer? There's something intangible about sneakers. We don't always know how to describe why we like a sneaker. Some shoes really appeal to certain people. The same shoe could be disgusting to another group. It's just how the game goes. Like the Air Jordan 1 Low OG black cement elephant print. I just reviewed that shoe. I don't particularly love that shoe. However, in the comments, there were some people that love that colorway, that love the generous use of elephant print on that shoe. And that's totally cool. Some shoes just really appeal to people, and it's just an instinctual thing. The Air Max 1 is my favorite Air Max. I've never really actually loved the Nike Dunks. Only when it comes in a great colorway or it's a great collaboration will I go for a Nike Dunk. However, when I saw images of these shoes, this one I really liked. mostly owing to the fact that it's a Michigan colorway. When I saw this, I was like, I'll pay whatever I need to pay to get these in my rotation. It's just so easy to wear. It looks so cool, so premium, even though it's just a Nike Dunk. The way they executed this shoe is just flawless. So you can probably see where I'm hitting. This shoe, I really wanted. And this shoe, I needed. So for intangibles, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5, and this, the Nike Dunk Low, a 5 out of 5. And that brings the total score of the Air Max 1 to 19 out of 25, and the total score for the Nike Dunk Low to 21 out of 25. Honestly, every time I see a Concept Japan release, it's like 99% chance that I'll like it. There's just something about those shoes. I feel like Nike or Jordan Brand puts in extra effort, and these two, definitely two of my favorite pickups of 2023. So that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Let me know what shoe you would prefer out of these two, the Air Max 1 or the Nike Dunk Low. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.